thought he was mustard. And looking back, I mean, I was very young, so I was like, yeah, football's football. But looking back, I'm like, all right, Dad, I'll give you one. You got a bit there.
Yeah.
The player for me, my favourite player, you know, been obviously following City now for decades, and Fernandinho was an incredible captain and a footballer, and also, you know, the offspring was Rodriguez. Rodri wasn't the player he is now when he first came in, and I think he learnt so much from Fernandinho. So yeah, what a player he was, and a captain, and a leader, and a proper man as well. That's just really echoing what Keith just said. You know, qualities of a captain are, you know, it doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter whether I'm coming back from injury and I'm playing in a reserve game against a local, you know, lower league team. I'm all in this game because I need to do things right. Same as if you were playing against Manchester United. Every single game is the same. Your mentality doesn't change to the opposition, and I think those are the qualities of a captain.
I always talk about like the intangibles, and Fernandinho had the intangibles, could do it all, like the dark arts and all of that. He was just unbelievable. Here's one for you though, maybe a hot take. David Silva doesn't really feel like a captain amongst them. I feel like I don't think when I close my head and think of David Silva, my picture isn't him wearing the armband, you know, which might be a strange one.
Yeah, I think you can have quiet captains, you know, go about and the way they carry themselves on the pitch as leaders. You know, with Bernardo Silva, captain today, Bernardo's, you know, doesn't play in the way that me and Keith played, but you know, his qualities and his desire to win. He's a competitor, and you know, like I say, he doesn't change. Every single game's the same intensity, same mentality. So yeah, and then obviously Dunny, who I was fortunate enough to play with, you know, captained the club for a long period of time, and what a defender he was. Yeah, good players there.
I think you haven't got to be a ranter and a raver and be somebody that's banging the chest, banging the walls, grabbing fellow players by the throat and everything like that. You haven't got to be like that as a captain, but somebody that's you need honesty. And you've got to be, and sometimes you've got to be able to tell somebody the truth when they need to hear it. Also, then you need to be able to be compassionate enough. You need to be able to look after other players when they need it as well. And sometimes it's a quiet word in somebody's ear. You need to change what you're doing, or make sure you do this, make sure you do that. It's having that compassion within a change room as well, because you're not only looking after that team, you're looking after the squad, and you're always remembering every given Saturday there's probably 13, 14 players that aren't making the starting lineup. You've got to make sure that you're mindful of their mindset as well.
What sort of captain were you guys? I feel like you're compassionate. I feel like the way you speak about and then going through to manager, you carried that on. But what if you were to describe yourself as a captain?
Available.
Nice.
Available for everybody. Again, I can still remember when I first joined City, and I've still got the picture at home, was with the kit lady as it was then. She was putting me number on the back of the shirt and everything like that. I built so many connections within the football club from every single level. Ellen with the bell and everything like that, the supporters and everything like that. And again, I think probably, yeah, it's I want it to be known as somebody that everybody could relate to.
Andy, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, probably slightly different to Keith, you know, and you know, with the longevity of his period at the club and coming through the way he did, and those relationships. You know, I think I played about 8 games and then became the captain, and I guess just the way I trained. And the way I played, and players will follow. You know, they don't follow titles. Players don't follow titles. They don't follow a captain because you got the armband. They follow courage. Yeah. And when they see somebody that's willing every single game to go out and give everything and willing to go to war in every game, players will follow that, and that's leadership. So slightly different to Keith, like, you know. But when I go and play, I'm all in. Everything was on the pitch, like, you know, and players warm to that.
I love that. Right, team recap. We have Ortega in goal, Rico Lewis, John Stones, Manny Akanji, Josko Vardiol, Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo, Foden, Grealish and Erling Haaland. And we are now going to go pitch side to FG and Brownie.
Yes, thank you very much, Liam. Welcome back to Villa Park. As you see, our players behind us, Brownie. Final preparations, keeping possession. There was a lot of noise from the City fans as they came out. It seems like a motivated Saturday afternoon.
Well, as soon as the team come out, they were all up for it, getting right behind them, as we mentioned before. But these little moments now, just getting a feel, getting a touch. Some players want to go full out. Some players want to just think, I'll just take it easy. I just want to protect, just want to get a little bit of momentum, not too much, but serious times now, trying to wire in the understanding of what comes next.
What were you like in this situation in a rondo? I mean, I wouldn't like to probably be on the end of a 50-50 with you in a warm-up.
Listen, in one of those, like I said to you, it's just about the team. It's about getting. I wasn't one to go full on at this stage. I just sort of getting myself ready, getting myself focused, your mind ready for what's about to happen. So sometimes if you go too full on here, you start to feel a bit of fatigue. But listen, it's always a common drill that everybody does. But it's about now getting tuned in. A good start. We've got to score first, haven't we? I think that's so important. We've talked about it so long. We did that against Manchester United and it wasn't to be, but this is a big game of football for the club.
Yeah, it's a massive game of football. I mean, there probably will be a lot of belief in that dressing room. I mean, we're 4 in a row champions. I mean, it seems like everybody's writing us off away from the club, but it does seem like it's still a very close group. We see Bernardo always having his fun with players like Erling and Jack, and the fans are together as well. This has to change at some point, and what a better place for it to change.
FG, listen, how can we question the mentality of these players, what they've gone and done? You know, serial winners, the level of professionalism's there, and the detail that they give to each other, demands from each player to another, from the manager, for the staff. They'll be focused, they'll know they've got to get back on track, they'll be desperate to do everything to try and get that win today.
And how much does what's happened in recent weeks and towards the end of games where, you know, sort of we've fallen apart, conceded goals late on, how much will that play a part today? Because if we do go ahead and take the lead, how important is it to then see it out, which is something that this club, and especially this group of players, have been so good at in recent years? I
think that's something, isn't it, how fragile we are regards to seeing games out, in regards to conceding goals. So it is important, it is there. Psychologically, it's not been as we'd expect. And that's only normal, isn't it? It comes with confidence. And they've been dented, the players, you can tell as well. But there's been a lot of criticism. I think let's put that first, and we need to stop that. I think everyone have took a lot, personally, collectively. But now it's about the team just trying to get performance, trying to get back in stride. It's good to see some more players coming back. Squad a little bit healthier in one place, and then in other places still Edison, etc. But over the next few weeks, it's going to be so important that squad stays together, and that's what they've always done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the fans at the stadium are the ones that always support the club right to the end. And there's been a lot of noise on social media from various people, and yeah, it does have to stop. Exactly like you said. Let's talk about Stefan Ortega, shall we? A number 2 goalkeeper for us. That, like Pep said, and what an option he is to have. I mean, he steps in for Edison, who's won the most Premier League titles as a goalkeeper, and he steps in, and you just feel really at ease having him as your keeper to step in.
I think you understand the experience that he has now. He's calming, a shot stopping. He's fantastic. I mean, to say that every day in training, they can't beat him. He has a bit of a laugh and a joke about it. I think we've seen in recent weeks that when someone runs through on him, they try that little bit harder to try and just beat him, because they know he gets his body in good positions. So you've been delighted to get the nod again, to play more football. I think when you're a number 2, it's about waiting, being patient. The more you play, the better you're going to become.
And now if you look behind us as well, John Stones is here, and he's practicing his long-range passing at the minute. What a great sign it is for him to see him and Manu Akanji, the other man that he's passing the ball to, back in the starting lineup.
It's like a few people in the production team with their golf, mate. It's all about that technique, and they know who they are. They know who they are in that team back at base camp. But listen, he hits the golf ball like that, John Stones. He's got a wonderful right foot, and I think that would have been an area, wouldn't it, that Pep would have liked to have gone into a number 6, because he can do that longer range, those diagonal passes. So, do you know what? We just need to get him minutes. We need to keep him out as much as we can, because he's unfortunately been getting a little bit too many injuries, and he's doing everything he possibly can to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're super looking forward to kick-off here. I mean, one thing I will notice as well, or one thing I will mention on the show, is there was a staff football tournament recently, a couple of days ago. One of the producers, Daryl, had an interesting outfit on. I don't know if you came across that.
I think it was right there with one of the worst I've ever seen, if I'm honest. He was quite proud. He was pushing it around all the groups, which shocked me. But I'm sure the guys in the studio, Keith Curl and Andy Morrison, will comment on that. And by the way, they're very good golfers as well on the subject of golf.
Yeah, and the man behind the camera here at Villa Park, Callum, I watched him play, and he was 3-0 down after 10 minutes. So on that point, what we'll do is we'll...
Centre half with extremely big legs. He's laughing now right behind the camera. Yeah. You should really keep tracksuit bottoms on.
I expected better, mate, to be honest. But listen, let's head back to the studio.
More importantly, there's a game on.
There is a game on.
There's a game on. Come on, we've got to win this one.
We have got to win today's game, indeed. Listen, we're going to head back to the studio. I'm sure the guys in the studio will have something to say.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll be honest with you. I think the producers' golf ability has taken a lot of stick today, so apologies for that. Let's talk the other end of the pitch, the strikers, the goals. Do we need to be less reliant on Haaland?
Keith.
No, he is a goal scorer. So not about being less reliant on him, but we need to give him more opportunities and more variety of opportunities in and around the box. Yeah, we haven't scored enough goals as a team, and that's just not down to the striker. That's down to the whole team.
Still 13 goals, very good haul. Back-to-back hat-tricks at the beginning of the season, but they have seemed to dry up. And you think that's chances why more chances not getting chances than it is on him? Sort of
Erling Haaland will score goals. Guaranteed, and again, so the more opportunities you get him, the more goals you're going to give. And again, I think Pep's, if you have a look at the team selection today, we haven't played with the natural width apart from Jack Grealish, but I think Jack will spend more of his game now, more of his developed game now, come in off of the line, so he's not easily marked. Again, so we're not playing with out-and-out wingers, but having out-and-out wingers available. It's about winning games, which means so you haven't got to win the game in the first 45 minutes. We've got game changers on the bench that can change the format of a game as well, which is important.
It is mind-blowing. We're sat here talking about his goals, but he's still top scorer in the league. He's almost suffering from his own success, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, when you have the numbers that he has over the last couple of seasons, a couple of games without a goal, and people start asking the question and pointing it out because such as the numbers have been so prolific. But again, it is opportunities, and of course you want the goal. You know, the goals have always came from various positions. When you look at Mahrez and Sterling, Sane, we've always chipped in, and there isn't enough goals coming from other areas of the pitch at the minute. And you know, the big supplier of opportunities is De Bruyne. And I look at the movement of Haaland, and sometimes it's there. He doesn't know the ball's going to be coming in, but if you can move the ball and recycle it, and every time De Bruyne gets it, then he's the one that everybody triggers off. You've got a chance. You've got maybe half a yard on getting across a defender, but when you don't know it's coming in, you're dead as a striker. And I think that's probably what he would be saying. I think at this moment in time is I'm not sure when I've got to make my movements because we're continually recycling the ball. Teams are dropping into a shape that allows us to go around them rather than through them. So it's very difficult for him, especially against two centre-halves, because one traps him and the other one deals with the ball. And you watch what's going on. They're actually grabbing each other in the box. It's remarkable if you watch Haaland in the attacking third, when the ball's in wide areas, trying to get half a yard. And even then he doesn't know the ball's coming in. So it's a tough period for him at the minute. But as Keith said, if we give him chances, he will score goals. It's just in his DNA.
You said it then, the other players, we're so used to players chipping in and performing and getting the goals, and it just hasn't happened this season. Second top scorer with 4 goals is Guardiola,
yeah.
Which is your left back, centre back being your second top scorer for a team like us.
I expect him to be the highest player in the team. If Rico balances off into a 3, you know, Jack comes inside. He is, when he plays, has been the player who's the out and out height in the team on the left-hand side, and I expect that to be the same today. And he's chipped in with some really important goals.
And his 2 unwanted stats. Phil Foden has had more shots without scoring, 24 shots, than anyone else in the league, and Savinho has accumulated the highest XG of any player yet to score, 2.1. Is it a case of once that goal goes, we're fine now?
I think so.
It's almost all in your head sort of thing.
Yeah, let's hope Foden's 25th one is the one that goes in the back of the net, because like you're saying, those numbers they're saying there, that has to change. And for Savinho's XG there, it's remarkable that the goals haven't come yet, you know, because he has had some great chances and some great saves, great blocks. So I still think when he gets that first goal, you know, I think things will start flowing.
Right, chaps, score predictions. Keith?
2-1.
2-1, like that.
3-1.
3-1. You're going to get the goals. Lovely stuff. Right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We're going to head over to Villa Park as the players are in the tunnel. And as always, make sure you download the official Man City app to listen to live commentary from Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. We'll see you at half-time. See ya.
Welcome to Villa Park. Another potentially pivotal afternoon for the Blues. It's been a strange old couple of months, hasn't it? Completely unfamiliar territory. And you have to be of a certain age to remember the last time that the City team lost 8 games in 11 matches. But, you know, there have been glimmers in the last few weeks. There have been positives aplenty. And again. So maybe with Christmas looming, it could be a good moment for City to start to turn the corner again. Villa players are in the tunnel, the City players are not. Kevin De Bruyne has just gone past. He's among the substitutes today, Savinho as well. Villa players have certainly been enjoying this campaign, but to be honest, their form is not the best. I'll come on to that in a few moments' time. Villa have been almost as disappointing as City in recent weeks, and yet it is City that have come under the intense scrutiny, while most believe Villa are enjoying a wonderful campaign. Not that they aren't, they've done really well in the Champions League. City would envy their position in the giant 36-team table. But of course today, Villa begin the afternoon below the Blues in the Premier League table. City players now in that tunnel, awaiting the signal from today's referee, Peter Banks, to make their way into the stadium. Well, a year ago, it was a game at Villa Park which sparked the Blues into an unbeaten 22-match run, which ultimately ended, of course, in their 4th Premier League title in a row. Could it again be the catalyst for City? City's unprecedented current woes have seen them suffer 8 defeats in the last 11 games. They've dropped 17 points in their last 7 league games. Yet a draw today would take them back into the top 4, while a win would put them on the same number of points as Arsenal and just 6 points off the leaders Liverpool. You know the motto, we fight till the end. The collective responsibility will ensure that motto will be adhered to today and throughout the remaining 6 months of the campaign. Well, Villa have had their own recent problems. They've dropped 16 points in their last 8 league games. They've made 1 alteration to the side which lost at Nottingham Forest in very similar circumstances to City's Derby Day defeat. They too led with 3 minutes to go. The only change sees Andre Onana replace the injured Diego Carlos. Jon Duran continues up front, preferred once again to Ollie Watkins. Well, City, meanwhile, have certainly made the most of a rare week off. It's allowed both Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake to return to fitness. The Swiss is one of 6 changes from the derby. The others, Ortega for the injured Ederson, Rico Lewis back from suspension, John Stones, Mateo Kovacic and Jack Grealish complete the half dozen. The latter for his first Villa Park start since he left his boyhood club more than 3 years ago. As well as Ederson, Ruben Diaz and Matheus Nunes are also unfit. Bernardo Silva captains the side on the occasion of his 250th Premier League appearance for the Blues. Well, on commentary duty today is Michael Brown. Michael, do you believe that the Blues have been playing better than the results have suggested?
I think we've certainly seen some good performances at times, obviously not for 90 minutes. I think that's been the concern. The games whether we've come and started really well in the first half or certain parts of second half. So we've played well in certain areas, but consistency levels, lasting the whole game is where it's been a struggle. We know that because of the fitness of players. We've started to deteriorate a little bit later on in games, which we've seen. So that has been a concern. The amount of goals we've conceded is there for all to see. But again, you've got to put that behind you. You can take certain positives from it. But now, when you have such a bad run, Ali, it's about getting results, not necessarily performances. And this is one of these today where it's going to be tough at times. They're going to test us out. They're going to put it in behind us. and the atmosphere will be strong, but we've got to come away with a positive result at this stage.
Yeah, the City lineup very, very different to that of the Manchester derby. 6 changes in all, albeit there was a couple of injuries in that list, with both Ederson and Matheus Nunes unavailable this afternoon. But it is good to see the likes of John Stones and Mateo Kovacic starting again. Kevin De Bruyne left out that Jack Grealish starts for the Blues, who are in their famous third kit that resembles that of the side of 1999, when the Blues, of course, won the playoff final against Gillingham. The only thing I've not mentioned so far, the referee is Peter Banks, whose last City game saw the Blues beat Fulham 3-2 back in October. Well, City have lost just one of the last 17 meetings with Aston Villa. They've won 5 of the last 8 trips to Villa Park. Encouraging statistics for the Blues today, ahead of what could be a potential clash, but all of a sudden John Duran was in. City lost the ball. John Duran just went right into the gap that had been vacated by the error, and he shot, well, rather tamely, if I'm being truthful. It was really not a good piece of play by Guardiola. So the game's first corner, he's helped on at the near, and Ortega's kept it out. It was Pau Torres who flicked it goal-bound, and it was helped on to the underside of the bar by Ortega. The referee says that the technology says the ball did not cross, and so it stays at 0-0. But my goodness, City really are leading a charmed life in the opening 90 seconds of this game. John Duran with a one-on-one.
Chances.
Yeah.
What a save, by the way.
That was. So it's another Villa corner, and it's gone deep, and in the end Ortega's pushed it out for another corner. Well, I tell you what, Ortega probably wouldn't have been playing today if Ederson hadn't been fit, but he's already justifying his inclusion.
And when you get a look at the replay, it's honestly centimetres away from being in. Top save, left-handed to dig it out. Fantastic from Ortega.
Tell you what, I haven't seen the replay, or rather the goal line technology freeze frame, just kind of pause as the header goes over the bar for a City goal kick from Onana. But the views that we've had, Michael, on the replays, I think that that's probably about as little as you can be without actually crossing the line. I think City have got it by millimetres.
It was that as well. The ball was certainly past the crossbar when you look along the line in the clip, but it happened so fast. Now we need composure. But they pressed quickly, I said they would. But that Duran chance, he hits it so early, right as he gets through towards Ortega. It gives him a chance, left hand, good save. Then that corner, swinging in, front post, he just flicks it on Torres. And it's one of those saves where he just goes with his left hand, digs it out under the bar, top save. Then another opportunity straight off. So that's 3 chances with Kamara header off the set piece. City have got to get hold of this game very, very quickly.
Well, they took the kick-off, City, but within seconds they'd given the ball away. And Aston Villa had that chance for John Duran. So the Blues really have struggled to get a foothold in this match. And the reality is that their fragile confidence has been apparent in the opening few minutes here today. City have got a throw, though, level with the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area. Their first opportunity to maybe express themselves. They've gone back towards the halfway line to John Stones. Stones just helps it on to Grealish. Well, I won't need to tell you when Grealish has got the ball, because the Holt end will give you the indication you need by booing him, because they believe that Grealish left them rather than the club wanting to sell him. The truth is that it was great business for Villa and great business for City, and that is just the way life works. You came back to play against your former club a few times, Michael. Is it a strange experience when you're in the visiting dressing room?
Yeah, very strange. And all you do is you look for that fixture. You want to do well against your teammates, the club that you've enjoyed being at. But no, in this scenario, I'll just give you a second.
Yeah, because he's on the ball now, Grealish. He's in the penalty area, and he tries a shot that goes wide, but it was a good positive start from Grealish. He seemed to get the better of Matty Cash, worked it onto his stronger right foot, tried to bend it in the far corner. It went about 4 or 5 metres wide.
Excellent touch. He knows him well. Matty Cash coming tight, drifts inside, then waits, delays. He just tries to whip it, far post. It got on Anu, but it was much further away. But yeah, just talking about old teams, he'd be looking to do well, but sometimes you leave on a bit of uncertainty when you're not playing, but he certainly did well for this club.
He did, as Grealish's tackle on the edge of the area, but Haaland onto Grealish, and then it's cleared. Villa not particularly watertight defensively, but they are building in the counter-attack now. And it's worked out to this right side, and McGinn scrambling down the right side, plays a good ball in, and Akanji on full stretch gets it out for another Aston Villa corner. A really good counter-attack from Aston Villa, but a good clearance from Manuel Akanji.
And he gets across well, but the counter's very, very fast, so make sure you get hold of it. McGinn playing on the right, which is unusual. Josko Vardio just giving him a little bit too much space. He plays it early, John Duran. Through the centre of the penalty area. Good recovery from Akanji. I thought could he have just kept it in, but now set pieces. First contact from City all over the 6-yard area. Haaland just looking after that front post. Rico Lewis trying to, and Phil Foden the target. Pau Torres, you've got to stop him getting close.
Yeah, Pau Torres almost scored from a corner a few minutes ago. The near post ball, and they've done it again, but this time Lewis gets it away, and it'll go out to the right and go out for a goal kick to City. So it's Aston Villa 0, City 0, but already 2 excellent saves by Stefan Ortega. One absolutely world-class. He clawed it away from under his own crossbar, and we're just about to see the goal line decision. Wow. Wow. That is, I don't know, maybe a 12th of the ball doesn't cross, but it's enough. And it's a terrific save by Ortega. It really is. We thought it was close, Michael. There's the statistical proof.
Oh, wow. I think good job there's some leather on that ball. It was that close, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, real strong hand. He does well. I think that's his strength, isn't it? Shot stopping, reactions, etc. We've seen Emi Martinez as well do that save last week. Top save that went behind him. We're talking about one of the best I've seen this season. That's another good save. So I was at a game in the week where the goalkeepers were criticised. Spurs, Man United, and rightly so, but 2 keepers here who can make good saves.
But from a throw-in, Duran is in, and he's hit it straight at Ortega, who makes a relatively comfortable save this time. But it was a throw from Villa. It went right down the little inside left channel, and Duran hit it first time, but Ortega was down. Now, Haaland's coming forward. He's in the left wing position. He'd love to be in the centre, but he's on the left wing. He plays it inside. Gundogan joins in. It's Villa 0, City 0 in the 8th minute. Villa have had 2 or 3 great moments. Ortega's already made a couple of brilliant saves. Ball's with Akanji, midway inside the Villa half. On it goes to Foden. Out wide further, and Bernardo Silva hugging the right touchline. Tries to take on Lucadine. He's coming inside of him. Plays it backwards to Rico Lewis. Lewis helps it further back to Stones. Stones, midway inside the Villa half, pops it out wide to, well, I don't even need to tell you. Grealish plays it inside, and he's caught by Cash, and it's a free kick to City, very wide on this near side, the left-hand side, and a free kick to the Blues.
He goes tight, doesn't he? A little bit of contact, but he'll be having a little smile between the pair of them. Cash coming tight, knowing Jack so well, he just goes, OK, I'll go down with that bit of contact. A few little smiles. Now he'll be wondering, can he still go as tight? That's the point. Now, an opportunity. City desperately needs something. Set the tone, put Villa on the back foot. Okay, Gundogan, Phil Foden wondering which way to go. It's quite blistery, the wind's quite strong in the middle of the pitch, so swing it in.
Well, Gundogan and Foden hovering over the delivery of this free kick. You'd think it will be an in-swinger, but you never know. No, it is going to be an out-swinger from Foden. Headed away by Pau Torres. Up into the air it goes, cleared further by Duran, and even further towards the edge of the area. Little header from Kovacic. Kanji plays it backwards to Bernardo Silva. On it goes to Kovacic. Kovacic in the inside right position, goes out wide to Bernardo Silva, up against a former City player at the moment in Morgan Rogers down that side. Bernardo Silva hugging the right touchline. Probably hear the City fans who are on this side. Over to the right side of the main stand. The ball comes in, cleared by Pau Torres and helped further away to Rogers, but Akanji's onto it. Foden fouled from behind. Free kick to City. It's not a shooting position, it's a crossing one, about 30 metres from goal, but a free kick to the Blues nonetheless. So Nana who committed the foul. So free kick to City, who've got over that little hiatus of that early pressure from Villa, and we crept into the 11th minute of the game. Villa 0, City 0. Foden and Gundogan ready to drift across into the penalty area. There's just a chink of sunlight that's crept through the slate grey clouds. The rain has just abated for the moment. And Peter Banks allows Gundogan to whip it in deep, and it's headed up into the air by Rogers and out for a corner, surely. Yeah, it is a corner. Well, the Villa players are coming up to the referee Peter Banks and suggesting there was a foul in there. I don't think there's ever been a ball into a box where there hasn't been fouling, and today was no different. And Rogers cleared it for what is now City's first corner of the contest. So Villa 0, City 0. Ilkay Gundogan will take a corner. It's a blustery day here in the West Midlands. And Gundogan is going to whip this one in towards Emi Martinez. Gundogan's delivery cleared easily at the near post by Cash, picked up by Grealish. Grealish on to Kovacic, Kovacic back to Lewis. Lewis back to Kovacic again. City in the central area of the Villa half, playing it across to Grealish. Grealish tries to get the better of McGinn, and on it goes to Grealish again. Grealish in a crossing position on the right-hand side, plays it backwards to Kovacic. Kovacic tries the shot, and Martinez makes a fairly routine gather, but it was a decent effort from Mateo Kovacic, Michael.
Yeah, it was good. Getting into good positions and just tries to reverse it, doesn't he? Goes to go far corner, just flicks it near. Never going to beat Emi Martinez from there. Comfortable goalkeeper. He's on top of his game at this moment.
He is, and talking of goalkeepers, Ortega came out as the sweeper keeper and clear, but there was an offside flag anyway. So a free kick to City, about 40 metres from their own goal. City took that free kick, but from the wrong place, so Peter Banks insists on them doing so again. Kovacic turns and holds off Tielemans, plays it out to Akanji. Back it goes to Tielemans again. Beyond Tielemans and on to Kovacic. Kovacic into Stones. Stones to the halfway line, nudges it to Gundogan. On it goes to Guardiola, and then Grealish, and Guardiola again. And he goes all the way back to Stones. Stones midway inside the City half. On it goes to Lewis in the centre circle, plays it to Foden. Foden just drifts away from a couple of challenges, and he was just held there. Just held. It was a foul by Boubacar Kamara, and a free kick to the Blues. Stones taps it to Lewis. Lewis helps it on to Akanji. Akanji to Bernardo Silva. Back it goes to Akanji. Akanji helps it on to Stones. Stones just inside the City half, plays it out wide to Bernardo Silva, the City captain today. He's on 4 yellow cards, Bernardo Silva. Another one, and he will miss the game against Everton on Boxing Day. Ball goes out wide to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash. Tries to take on Cash, comes to the byline, comes back inside again, tries to win a corner, doesn't. picked up though by City. Kovacic has it. Sunshine now very much in the ascendancy, and the grey clouds disappearing as the ball comes to Kovacic again. Kovacic midway inside the Villa half. On it goes to Guardiola, back to Kovacic. Kovacic back to Stones, and Stones will go across to Guardiola, and Guardiola will play it back to Ortega. Ortega plays it out to Guardiola, under a bit of pressure. Guardiola plays it down the line to Grealish, and it's another foul by Cash. And Cash is getting a warning from the referee because that's his second foul of the match. Cash and Grealish exchanging Christmas pleasantries, Michael Brown.
Yeah, he gets in front of him, he knows the contact, he knows it's going to come tight. Is the referee going to issue it? I'm not so sure, he might have done it already. He's just going to have a little word just to say, right, I've let you go on a couple, no more. But just get another look at it. And there's not a massive amount. Jack does so well when there is contact, so actually making sure, leaving that leg in, that he does get a free kick. But just look at City's setup. Akanji, Stones, Vardio like a back three. Rico Lewis is jumping into midfield as quick as he possibly can alongside Kovacic. It allows Ilkay Gundogan to get into that number 8 position, drift in between Konza and Cash just to create a bit of space. So out of possession, Rico Lewis will drop in, but most build-up, Bernardo Silva dropping down as a sort of a wing-back position.
Well, Villa have got the ball midway inside the City half. Kamara plays it to Onana and then plays it all the way back to Konsa. Centre half today. Konsa has been playing right back. Plays it all the way back to Emi Martinez. Martinez on the edge of his own area. Taps it into Tielemans. Tielemans gets away from Stoke. Oh, great ball! And Rodgers is through on goal here. Aston Villa with a real chance. Duran into the area. 1-0 Aston Villa. The ball down the middle. Rodgers swept away, tapped it inside, and Jon Duran puts it into the net. And City are trailing by 1-0. And the praise is coming for Tielemans for the ball that released Rodgers, who then released Duran, and Villa take the lead.
Well, City cut open. They've got to get on their press a little bit better, but Tielemans is intelligent. He understands where to go. He just drifts into the middle, receives the ball, then he turns. Rodgers is quick. He's off the line, he steps inside. There's some beautiful weighted ball off the back of Kovacic. And then the recovery runs are there. Kanji tries, but Rodgers intelligent. He doesn't take the shot on. He's unselfish, just flicks it across. Duran coming on top of Ortega, just flicks it left-footed into the far corner. It's a clinical goal from Villa. It's a clever one. And they certainly have been the ones who deserved a goal at the start of this game.
Well, Stefan Ortega's made a couple of really good saves that kept it at 0-0, but he could do nothing there. And in the 16th minute, Jon Duran, who has this wonderful habit of scoring goals, scored in all 6 starts he's made this season because of that goal here today. Well, you can't say Villa haven't deserved it because they really have started a lot better than the Blues. And other than a shot from Kovacic that was fairly easily dealt with by Martinez, City haven't threatened yet. We're in the 18th minute. Aston Villa 1, City 0. The ball is in the possession of Haaland. Can't lay it off to Lewis. Picked up by McGinn. He loses it to Gundogan, and that's a foul by McGinn. Free kick midway inside the Villa half. Lewis plays it to Guardiola. Guardiola out wide to Grealish. Grealish down the left side, trying to take on Cash. Still on the edge of the area, Grealish. Plays it in towards Haaland. It's cleared. And Rodgers is on to him. Rodgers now charging forward. Comes inside of Lewis. And he's fouled by Lewis. And it's a free kick to Aston Villa. Aston Villa 1, City 0. Truth is, in these 8 defeats in the last 11, City have taken the lead and lost. They've gone behind and lost. So the fact they've gone 1 behind is neither here nor there, really. Indeed, the Blues have recovered many times this season from a losing position. Indeed, in their last away game, they trailed 1-0 and 2-1 to Crystal Palace and got something from the game. So the fact that
Ali,
they're trailing here.
I see your point, Ali. I see your point. But when we're coming to places like this, you know, it's a real uphill task, isn't it? I think that's the point.
It is, and the reality is that when confidence is not at its highest, you don't want to go a goal behind, and Villa are already in a particularly good position in terms of their feel-good factor around the stadium, and now the fans are even more up for it. But City are coming forward down the right side with Bernardo Silva, tries to get beyond Lucas Digne, and it comes off the City captain and out for a Villa throw near the corner flag. So Villa 1, City 0. Jon Duran preferred to Ollie Watkins, and he scores for the 6th time in 6 starts, and he is the Villa top scorer with 12 goals in all competitions, 7 of them now in the Premier League. And it owed a lot to Tielemans' ball down to Rodgers, and then Rodgers squared it for Duran, and Duran got it beyond Ortega, and once again the Blues trailing in the Premier League.
It was a good goal. It was really well worked, but ultimately we've got to be tighter, we've got to be closer, the distances have got to be better. And there's, you know, at this level, you've got to be ready for it, you've got to be aware. We've had a couple of scares already, so defensively, and it, by the way, people who are listening, it doesn't just start, and that's, you know, saying it's just a defensive line. That starts all the way from the press, from everybody in the team.
Yeah, true enough. City have got the ball in midfield. Kovacic, well, he lost it because it bounced away from him, but Lewis got it. And now Guardiola. And on it goes to Akanji. Akanji, just inside the City half, plays it to Stones. Stones. Only a Villa win will take them above City in the Premier League table. So even though the feel-good factor is around Villa Park, they've started the day behind the Blues. Grealish down the left side. Comes inside. Faces up to McGinn. On it goes to Guardiola. Helped on further to Stones. Stones in the middle of the Villa half. Plays it to Kovacic. Kovacic turns away from the challenge of Tielemans. Plays it on to Akanji. Akanji plays it inside to Kovacic again. Kovacic is fouled by Kamara. Sorry, yes, it was Kamara. Free kick to the Blues. So you've had a lot of possession, but possession doesn't count for much. It's about what you do with it. 77% possession for City at the moment, but there's only one stat that matters, and it's 1-0 to Villa. Ball is with Lewis, just inside the Villa half. Back it goes to Stones. Stones in the centre circle. Plays it to Guardiola. Guardiola out wide to Grealish. Grealish comes inside. Still holds on to the ball, Grealish. On it goes to Foden. Back it goes to Kovacic. Into the possession of Akanji. City getting towards the final third. Bernardo Silva wide on the right side. Up against Lucas Digne. Tries to tease him into a challenge. Gets the better of him. Comes back inside Bernardo Silva. Digne's in front of him again. And then the cross is deflected. Up goes Gundogan. And it's cleared. Half a claim of a handball there against Onana, but the referee doesn't get a signal. Ball is in the possession of Foden. Sweeps it right to Grealish. Grealish in the left wing position. Comes inside of Cash, plays it on to Lewis. Lewis helps it on to Akanji. Akanji looks up, doesn't see any players in front of him, so just taps it inside to Foden. Still in and around the edge of the final third, but not quite in it yet, the Blues. Akanji out towards Guardiola. It's too heavy, and it's a throw to Villa on this near side. So we're in the 23rd minute. Aston Villa 1, City 0. A goal by Jon Duran, which will not be a surprise to anyone given his form. Villa have the ball in their own penalty area. Emi Martinez clears it, but it will be straight to Akanji. Akanji now, midway inside the Villa half. On it goes to Lewis, back it goes to Akanji. Akanji plays it into Kovacic. Kovacic still midway inside the Villa half. Backwards it goes to Stones. Stones just the edge of the centre circle. Looks across and plays it out wide into the possession of Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva comes in off the line. Looks up, Still can't find a City player, but he keeps it in his possession, then plays it to Stones. Stones out wide to Grealish. Grealish takes on Cash, gets the better of it. Comes inside Grealish, and it was a wild swing. And was it a deflection? No, it wasn't. It's gone out for a throw on the far side. It was, he did well the first bit, didn't he, Michael?
Did really well. Positive comes inside, and some people might think it was a cross. He just tries to put his laces through it, strike it towards that far corner, slices it. Wild, as you've said, and poor execution really after a good start, good touch. Do you know what? I don't mind that though, Ali. I want to see Grealish trying to make things happen, trying to get forward, trying to do things with more tempo. Here he is again.
Yeah, tried to put some pressure on Martinez, who hit it straight out of play for a City throw near enough on the halfway line. Ball goes
great touch
back
from Pep, wasn't
it?
It
really was a great touch from Pep, actually, isn't it?
Pep just brought it down, left-footed, right on the halfway line, cultured in his jacket, hands in pockets. Just there you go. I'll just drop it down for a throw.
Absolutely, really was. Even a few Villa fans were applauding that from the gaffer.
Sign him up, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Sign him up.
Kanji plays it back to Stones. Stones on the edge of the City penalty area. On it goes to Lewis. Lewis darting forward. Still inside City territory though. Plays it back to Stones. Stones keeps on coming.
The two centre midfielders just stopping Ilkay Gundogan and Ford and just getting on the ball. Them two are saying, OK, we'll sacrifice it. Then the next one's Tielemans, Rodgers and Duran just dropping down with McGinn. We just find it a little tough. The line's really good from Villa. Can we get behind them?
Yep, bit of space again for Grealish on this left-hand side. Grealish comes in, plays it to Gundogan, on it goes to Guardiola, on it goes to Kovacic, and then to Lewis. Lewis to Kovacic, still almost 78% possession for the Blues, but they trail 1-0. The ball is with Stones. Stones into Gundogan. Stones just about got it away from the challenge of Tielemans, otherwise Villa might have been in there. Stones has got it, helps it out wide to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash again, by the corner flag on this near side. Still with Grealish, comes inside, plays it into the possession of Kovacic. Kovacic helps it on, Akanji on the edge of the final third, on it goes to Haaland, back it goes to Akanji again. City certainly looking a lot more confident, but Villa very well set up. Ball goes wide to Grealish again. Grealish up against Cash, trying to take on Cash, plays it back to Guardiola, guided in, headed away by Pau Torres. Bernardo Silva will keep it on the far side. Beyond Duran gets it away and out for a City throw. City throw midway inside the Villa half. City on top at the moment, but still haven't really fashioned a chance. The ball is with Akanji. Akanji again to Grealish. They're certainly trying to get it out to Grealish as often as possible. On it goes to Guardiola. Guardiola back to Kovacic. Kovacic to Stones. Stones midway inside the Villa half. Plays it into the gap for Gundogan. Gundogan on towards Haaland, and Haaland almost got to it actually. It was left by Konsa. Martinez got there in the nick of time, Michael.
Yeah, a couple of touches for Haaland, last couple of moments. Small chance and sort of scampering to try and get near Martinez. I think we've got to get him on the ball more, get him involved wherever possible. I know it's long periods that you don't always hit Haaland, and then he just scores from nowhere, creates a chance. Here he is again. There's a nice little set. Just keep getting him a feel for it. Get him involved, not so long without the ball. Here now, Grealish getting on it again. Can we get it towards Haaland? Give him a chance.
They're certainly on top, City, and Villa have been giving the ball away. Blues moving Aston Villa around, but you've always got the sense that on the counter, the Villa players are set up really well with Duran to just sort of explosively run away from City's back line. The ball's with Guardiola at the moment, and he plays it back to Ortega. Ortega on the edge of the D, plays it to Guardiola. City fans doing their best to keep City's players encouraged. Outnumbered, of course, but making a really good noise, the sellout City contingent. Akanji on the halfway line. On it goes to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva back to Akanji again. Akanji all the way back to Ortega. Duran comes to meet him. Ortega plays it to Stones. Aston Villa 1, City 0. 21s and a set-up from Rodgers. The ball's wide on the right with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva coming inside, keeps on coming, switches it to Grealish again. Can Grealish keep it in? Just about, but Cash is onto it because all Grealish could do was keep it on. Cash plays it inside, helped on, and now Tielemans, and he prods it to Duran, and on it goes to Rodgers. On the halfway line, Aston Villa with Tielemans. Further across to Lucadine. Lucadine back to Onana. Onana inside to Tielemans. Onana and Tielemans literally passing it to each other. Ball goes back to Konsa. Konsa onto Cash. Aston Villa 1, City 0. Goal by Jon Duran. City have had 78% possession of the ball. Ball goes long, looking towards the right side, and Akanji heads it away, and the offside flag was up anyway. Encouraging signs for you, Michael, in the last few minutes?
Yeah, I'd say some. Possession-based, getting Jack Grealish 1v1s and a couple of touches from Haaland, so it's nice to the eye, but we've got to try and maybe take advantage, whether it's Akanji steps in, takes out Rodgers, Bernardo in the areas, get Ilkay Gundogan in between centre-back and full-back. We've got to try and just create a chance. It's nice, but we're not creating sort of real clinical chances.
Well, Grealish is going to try and do something here. He clips it in. It's headed away by Pau Torres, helped on by Lewis, and Stones picks it up. Stones in the centre circle, ambles forward. Still on with Stones, and now Akanji. Akanji looking to his left, finds Stones again. Stones comes forward. See, absolutely in control of the game, but the scoreline says 1-0 Villa. The ball is with Lewis. Lewis, on it goes to Akanji. Akanji wide to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva back to Akanji. Akanji inside to Lewis. Lewis back to Stones. Stones looking for Gundogan, and he was fouled from behind by Onana. Not the first time either that he's been penalised. So City still in possession of the ball. Only one clean sheet in the last 4 home games at Villa Park, Aston Villa, so certainly encouragement for the Blues as Grealish comes forward. Grealish plays it into Foden. Foden on this left side plays it back to Guardiola. Guardiola inside to Stones. Stones midway inside the Villa half. Foden, Stones, City being patient. Kovacic trying to open Villa up. Bernardo Silva, now Kovacic. And Kovacic is tackled, and Duran on the halfway. Rodgers, it's a good ball inside, and now outside, and it's going to go out for a City throw. And on the counter, Villa still have a threat.
Very dangerous. They do it quick, don't they? Duran desperate for a running behind, just in an offside position there. Tielemans, he's clever, he's comfortable. He makes that pass that is a bit risky, but tries to create chances, and Villa have got a good setup.
As Foden plays it into the box, Torres clears it, picked up by Tielemans. On it goes to Onana. Onana driving forward, on it goes to Rodgers. Onana continues his run and keeps on going. Onana gets towards the final third. City back into position though, and he has to go back to Kamara. Kamara midway inside the City half, on to Onana. Further back to Lucadine. Villa one clean sheet in the last 9 in the Premier League, home and away. So they do leak goals. There are opportunities for City if they can create something. The ball is with Rodgers. Rodgers comes inside. Good play by Rodgers. Good ball as well towards Duran. Duran's in again. And it's a foul on Akanji. And a free kick to the Blues. A little bit of a delay by Peter Banks before he blew his whistle, wasn't there, Michael?
I think what he wanted to do to make sure he got the decision correct. So he thought initially, he went to blow the whistle, he thought, I'll let it roll just in case. He's got obviously the backing of VAR and just in case. And then as soon as the ball went wide, he decided to obviously make the decision. But again, really good from Rodgers, driving through the middle. Duran just pulling off the back of Akanji. Good recovery run, he did enough, possibly was a foul, but in the build-up to that, obviously Kovacic thought he was nudged. And so City have got a really good possession stat here, but shots on target, chances created, limited, we know. They're just drifting, controlling, playing, but I think clinical is the word I'm looking for now.
Yep, ball goes out wide to Grealish once again. Takes it down again beautifully. Cash up against it. Grealish plays it backwards to Guardiola. Midway inside the Villa half. On it goes to Stone. 79% possession. Extraordinary. The ball is with Lewis. Lewis gets to the final third. Finds Foden. Foden tiptoes his way in. Lewis back to Foden. Foden, good save on Emi Martinez. Once again, Phil Foden in with a chance, but Martinez makes the save. Remember the statistic, Foden's had more shots than any other player in the Premier League this season without scoring. Well, he almost scored there, and it was a good save by Martinez.
It was a clever move, Phil Foden at his best, agility, flicking it, following with Rico Lewis return pass. He maybe could have took a touch, he flicks it early into that far corner, good save.
Corner comes in, and it's headed out for another corner. Starting to ask more questions of Villa now. City with all this possession. And that's the nearest they've come to a goal. Foden with a shot tipped round the post. Gundogan will take another City corner, hoping to avoid those at the near post. No, he's gone short this time. Gets it back a second time, Gundogan. Edge of the area, Grealish. Grealish, oh, it's not a good ball. And forward come Villa on the counter. And Villa have got men on the counter here. McGinn coming forward, looking for the right ball, McGinn. Plays it inside and it's cleared by Guardiola just as well. Gundogan picks it up for City. And he loses the ball to Duran. Duran's onto it. City now funneling back into shape. Onana. And now Kamara. Kamara onto Dean, onto Rodgers. Rodgers in the left wing position. Rodgers goes back to Luca Dean. Luca Dean back to Kamara. For all City's possession, when Villa get on the ball, there's a real menace about them, isn't there, Michael?
Yeah, very quick, because they've just conserved energy, just the bank's just waiting, letting the City moving around, but saying we won't go too far, keep the line up, make it congested. Yes, City have got to do. There's another foul.
He's got to book him. He's got to book him. Yeah. Cash again on Grealish. He's given him enough warnings. And Matty Cash finally gets the booking for yet another foul on Jack Grealish. He's played well today, Jack Grealish. He's probably been City's most potent threat. And the ball's gone out to him time and time again.
Yeah, he does well. Just gets his body in between his opponent coming forward, and I'm surprised Matty Cash actually goes tight again like that. He doesn't actually foul him, he just goes really tight, close to him, and Jack very good on contact, and the referee had no choice on this occasion. Jack's reaction, but counter-attack again.
Yeah, it's not a good ball, though, and it's guided back by Stones to Ortega. So Aston Villa 1, City 0. A goal by Jon Duran in the 16th minute. Two wonderful saves from Ortega kept it at 0-0, but Duran then tucking Villa in front. But City have dominated the game since, and Grealish in particular has been influential. He's up against Cash again. Into the area he goes, tries the shot, and it's a simple gather for Emi Martinez. But he's got the better of Cash a number of times, and now Cash is on a yellow card. That has to be something that is of encouragement for City.
Well, it's when you say that, Tyrone Mings just comes out with his bib on to warm up, and you talk about different decisions. Konza playing in that position. Will he look to do that at half-time? We'll soon see. But it's a good sign. Grealish getting involved. He just gave the ball away before that on the edge of the area from the set piece, and Pep sunk to the floor because of the counter-attack of Villa, but great recovery run from Josko Vardiol. City got control here now. They've really got to push, try and get an equaliser before the end of this first half.
Well, they probably have shaded this first half, despite the fact they're trailing. Villa started really well, but City have had good control in the last half an hour, or 25 minutes to be more exact. Martinez is on the ball. I think if I was the Villa manager, I would take Matty Cash off, because it's a real danger. And Pau Torres, meanwhile, has almost lost the ball to Haaland in the penalty area. He managed to get it away. McGinn's got the ball for Villa. He hits it long, up towards Rodgers. Lewis gets it away, but Rodgers is onto it anyway. Rodgers down the left-hand side. He's got Luca Dean on his outside. Luca Dean with a cross into the area. Lewis with the tackle, and he clears it out for a throw.
2v1 overload. Luca Dean, very, very quick, tried to get that delivery into the penalty area, but Rico Lewis, good recovery, gets the block on and manages to prevent the corner as he spins it back around for a throw. But City just a little bit open, need to be better on the counter, need to be quicker in the recovery runs and a bit closer together.
So Villa have a throw. Luca Dean is ready to throw it long into the penalty area. There was a conveniently placed towel for him to dry the ball and get a good grip of the ball. 6 minutes to half-time. Throw comes in, headed away by Lewis. Picked up by Kamara. On to Tielemans. Tielemans to Luca Dean. Luca Dean loses it to Lewis. It breaks for Foden. Foden scampering forward for City. Kovacic tackled, and the ball goes out towards Guardiola on this near side. In front of the City fans, over to this right-hand side of the main stand here at Villa Park. 5 minutes just over to half-time. Aston Villa 1, City 0. Villa started brilliantly, 2 great saves by Ortega, then they scored, and then since then, City have been in control of the game, and one really good chance for Foden that was tipped round the post by Emi Martinez. So City with genuine feelings of encouragement here. The ball is midway inside the Villa half. It's in the possession of Kovacic. Kovacic in the centre circle, plays it across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol on to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash again. Plays it inside to Stones. Stones on halfway. Taps it into Foden. Foden gets away from Kamara. Plays it to Lewis. Lewis darts forward. On it goes to Haaland. Haaland gets to his own return. Foden tackled though by Pau Torres. And Martinez plays it to the Spaniard, and the Spaniard gets it away to Luca Dean. And Rodgers, City trying to win it back, and they do, but at the expense of a Villa throw. 5 minutes to half-time, Aston Villa 1, City 0.
Some good passing in the middle. Little touch from Haaland into Foden. His touch is clever, but I think he just lets it run onto his right foot. Would have been the better option. Great recovery run, by the way, from Foden. Villa trying to get away. That's what we need, and stop it at source before the counter happens on us.
And the ball's with Cash at the moment, midway inside the Villa half. Plays it in field to Kamara. Kamara to Onana. Onana looking for a runner, but plays it backwards to Pau Torres. Torres back to Kamara. City with a very high line. Kamara goes wide to the left-hand side, up towards Luca Dean. Luca Dean up against Lewis. Plays it to Rodgers. Midway inside the City half, and it breaks fortuitously for Luca Dean. Luca Dean just stopped by Rico Lewis. Lewis, right by his own corner flag, wins the throw. Did well, Rico Lewis, under pressure. Couple of minutes to half-time. Aston Villa 1, City 0. In fact, 3 minutes to half-time, to be exact. So it's a throw to City. Cleared, picked up by Gundogan. Gundogan on to Guardiola. Guardiola now. Can he build a counter-attack for City? He's certainly coming forward at pace. On it goes now to Grealish. Grealish on the left edge of the penalty area. Grealish too close to Martinez. No, it's not. Guardiola got there first, but headed it over the bar. The ball in looked too close to Martinez, and Martinez, I think, was in two minds. And just in the blink of an eye, Guardiola got there in front of Martinez, but helped it over the crossbar. What a chance.
Yeah, it was a great counter from City. Josko Guardiola right through the middle. I think the ball to Jack Grealish needed to be in front of him. It was behind, that delay, let Villa come back, but then as Grealish steps inside, flicks that in-swinging cross. As you say, Martinez unsure to come. He just needed to glance it in front of him, caught it too thick over the bar, but better counter from City.
Yep, and here come Villa with Rodgers. Rodgers plays it back to Luca Dean. 2 minutes to half-time. On it goes to Onana, into Kamara. Kamara on the centre circle, plays it across to Cash. Cash now down the right side. Cash just Phillips plays it backwards to Camara. Camara to Onana. 90 seconds to half-time. There's going to be 1 additional minute on top of that. The ball is with Pau Torres. Michael Brown leaving me and going down to the sideline to talk to FG. So I'll guide you through the last couple of minutes of the first half. The ball's in the possession of Pau Torres. Pau Torres on to Konsa. Konsa turning away from Haaland and guiding it back to Martinez. Martinez pops it out wide to Lucadine. Lucadine on to Rodgers, tackled by Lewis. City have it with Bernardo Silva. Back it goes to Akanji. We're in the final minute of the first half. Aston Villa 1, City 0. A goal from Yon Duran. Ball goes out wide into the possession of Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva getting towards the edge of the penalty area, comes inside and then is tackled just as he was maybe thinking about crossing it. Rodgers drives forward and he holds off Foden, and then he holds off Akanji, and on it goes to Duran. Duran comes forward, plays it inside to Tielemans. On it goes towards McGinn. City is stretched here. McGinn on the edge of the penalty area. McGinn with the ball out towards Rodgers. Rodgers in the penalty area. City just a little bit stretched, but they've cleared it. Goes as far as Onana, tackled by Haaland. Grealish now fouled by Camara. And that's one of those cynical challenges by midfielders where they know there's a break on and they normally get carded for it, but Peter Banks has resisted that temptation. So we're into 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Aston Villa 1, City 0. A goal from Yon Duran in a period when Villa were well on top, but in the half an hour since, City have been in control, but they can't find the equaliser. Guardiola with a header over the bar, and a shot from Foden that was tipped round the post by Martinez. Stones comes forward. On it goes to Kovacic. Kovacic on to Gundogan. Back to Kovacic again. Kovacic midway inside the Villa half. Plays it to Guardiola, who had a good chance to put City back level. Grealish takes on Cash. And what's he given? It's a half-time whistle. Well, it looked like either a handball or something by Matty Cash, but the referee decided to sound his half-time whistle. Well, you have to say, the opening quarter of an hour of this game, City were a distant second. There's a bit of an argument breaking out between Emi Martinez and Jack Grealish. Haaland's acting as peacemaker. I'm not sure what the anger was all about, but anyway, at half-time, Aston Villa are leading by a goal to 0. They started the game brilliantly. A couple of great saves by Ortega, but then in the 16th minute, Tielemans' ball into the gap. Forward went Rodgers, tapped it into Yon Duran, and Duran put it over the line, and it was Aston Villa 1, City 0. In the half an hour since, City have been outstanding. They've had a chance for Guardiola headed over the crossbar, and a shot from Foden who was tipped round the post, and they were going at half-time feeling as though they played pretty well. But at half-time at Villa Park, it is Aston Villa 1, City 0. Well, I said Michael had left the commentary position, was on his way down to the sideline. He is indeed, and he's joined FG.
Yes, half-time from Villa Park. Manchester City 1 goal down to Aston Villa. First things first, the players are heading off. They've had a lot of possession, they've had a lot of chances, and it's been a better performance so far.
Yeah, do you know what? It was a really slow start to the game. We see Josko Vardiol get caught, Duran going on goal, Pau Torres header near post. Just on this goal right here was a wonderful save on it from Ortega. Inches that the ball didn't go in, but there's lots of uncertainty. There's a little bit of an altercation at the end, and that's why it's so hostile. But after that goal, City started to control. They were better in possession. Getting control is one thing, having possession, we just haven't created enough. I think that's the one thing. Villa looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a counter-attack, but 1 minute into the game, we could have been 2-0 down, as crazy as it sounds. After 18 seconds, Duran goes through on goal, Ortega makes a smart save. From the resulting corner, Ortega makes an incredible save. It was an absolute worldie save. You know, we've seen Martinez do it recently against Forest, and then this one was literally in that top corner, and he sort of pushes it with that left arm, and when you see the goal line technology, it's literally by that much that the ball doesn't go in. But it was a scare for City. It wasn't a good enough start. We did react, we did get better with more control, but again, Villa goal was really slick. Yeah, the Villa goal was slick. I mean, it was a great move. John Stone steps forward, and then
Manu Akanji's sort of left in a 2-on-1 situation. It's the old City player Morgan Rogers who takes the ball very calmly, plays it across, and it was a good finish in the end.
I think the work is out really on the press, and Tillemans just comes forward. John gets there, then he gets away, and he threads a brilliant ball because Rogers comes off that left-hand side, and then the slide pass is really good in between Rico Lewis, that Akanji's got a race on. And then at that point, you're looking, what's Rogers going to do? He was clever, he was unselfish, flicked it inside, Durant steps forward, centre of the goal, 12 yards out, as the goalkeeper approaches, flicks it left-footed into the far corner. It was a slick goal from Villa. City will be disappointed with that counter-attack.
I mean, Jack Grealish had a lot of the ball here at his old club. He's been brilliant. He's been taking on Matty Cash. Matty Cash is now on a booking. In the second half, is it more of the same? Get the ball out to Jack. He seems to be the outlet at the minute. The crossfield pass from John Stones has been brilliant in the first half. We're just not quite doing it in the final third at the minute, are we?
I don't think we are, with obviously the possession, the tempo, but clinical chances, shots on target need to improve. Sort of real goal chances are not there, and that's something we've got to look at. But will Villa change? Will Matty Cash possibly come off at half-time because of those 1v1s? We might see Konza just drop down into the right-back position. They're the choices for Villa. For our point of view, we've just got to be a little bit better in front of goal, a bit sharper, a bit quicker. Yeah, fingers crossed. In 45 minutes, we'll be back pitch side and we'll be a lot happier than what we are. It's 1-0 to Aston Villa at half-time. We'll head back to the studio where I'm sure they'll unpick what's gone on.
Thank you very much, FG. Guys, we've got to start from basically the very start. 20 seconds in, Duran goes through, and it's a bit of a let-off. How big is that?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and to be fair, we got out of jail. I mean, it's a great save from Ortega, but I thought it was a really, really poor decision to get a shot off when the ball was trapped under his body with his left foot. I think he had to keep going and engage the keeper, try and go around him and slot it in, you know, but you know, there was the warning signs were there straight away. A little bit of complacency, an extra pass when we didn't need to. We could have gone back to the keeper in one, but we invited another pass. And at times like this, where confidence is a bit low in the game, you've got to start right. You know, you've got to start very organised, pragmatic in your approach. Can't take chances, and it gave them a great opportunity.
We spoke about it in the pre-show, doing the basics right and not worrying. Is that a simple case of overthinking almost?
Yeah, well, sometimes it's about fundamentals in your game, and you always say, like, first 10, 15 minutes, can you get them turned, can you stretch the game, can you put the ball in their half, can you get numbers right in and around there, don't invite pressure, and then having a touch, then a square ball, then somebody poking it, and you're like, wow, like, you don't want this. It's one of those, so don't invite pressure. So, yeah, you want City are excellent at playing out, but when things aren't going right, first couple of minutes of the games, it's one of those, let's go and play in their half. Yeah. Let's go and put the pressure on them, because Villa are still nervous as well. They haven't had a fantastic last couple of games as well. But then you give them a lift if they nick the ball off of you or they intercept the pass. As well as don't invite that pressure.
And they absolutely got that lift. The corner after Ortega made an unbelievable save. It was millimetres.
Great save.
Yeah, it's a great save. It's a great set play as well, Liam, because there's movement. There's a decoy run into the near post, and then I think it's Digne arrives in that little space, gets a flick on it. But they've worked on that, Aston Villa. The first corner, this is what we're going to do, organised, and it's a unbelievable save. How he manages to get his hand onto that. I mean, we're looking at the just where it was close now. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's. Yeah, and you're thinking at that point, you know, this could be our day, because two brilliant saves from Ortega. We haven't started right. They've had two great chances, but then we began to feel our way into the game.
Maybe this is me running before we're walking. I always feel like there's big moments in a season. Could this be our big moment? We saw it a few seasons ago with John Stones' clearance against Liverpool, Aguero's goal against Burnley. These fine margins, they add up, don't they?
Yeah, but you can't rely on great saves. Moments of did it cross the line, did it not cross the line? It's one of those. We need to create more chances for Haaland. We need to get the numbers right, getting into the box. We need more numbers getting into the box. We need to work the ball out to Jack Grealish earlier, quicker, and then we need numbers in the box. We can't just say, right, well, Villa have got 4 defenders back there or 3 defenders back marking Haaland. We need people to break off our midfield players and go and join in with him. But then likewise, out of possession of the ball is when if your midfield player makes a run, you don't hand him over, you go with him. You've got to do your job in possession, out of possession. Too many people, too many midfield players are letting their runners go, or runners are running off of them. Can't happen.
You mentioned Grealish there. He's been in a pretty key battle with Matty Cash. He's looked good, and now on a yellow card. From a manager standpoint,
he's been a standout player, Jack Grealish. You know, it looks like something they've worked on this week. They're understanding that they're going to come really narrow, Villa, to stop our 210s in Gundogan and Foden. You know, so that sort of leaves the fullbacks a little bit exposed on one-on-ones, and Jack's touch has been brilliant, and he's decided to go. You know, I'm going to go at you and have a go, and you know, probably the booking could have come earlier, because it suffocated right up to the end there. But you know, I think that I can't see them leaving that as the situation is now. I think they'll make a change. They have to make a change because Jack is getting the better of him, and once Jack comes at you without somebody inside, McGinn always gets across, so then you can show him the line. If he comes inside, he's coming into McGinn, but if McGinn's not there, he's in all sorts of trouble, and Jack's got the measure of him at the minute.
I think it's important that Jack plays high enough now to make McGinn's workload higher, because if he comes deeper, it makes it easier for McGinn to be the first one that engages him. If he plays higher and McGinn says, well, I'm going to double it there, then Guardiola can step into that place and then tempt McGinn out. Then the little one who's in and around the box. So it's the discipline now from Grealish is because he wants to be involved all the time. He wants to be involved, and he knows he's got the better of Cash. But if he comes deeper and goes more narrow, is when he's making the job easier for the defender. If he stays higher, then if Cash goes right, well, I'm going to go out and mark him. I'm going to nullify him. There's a great big gap between him and the centre back for Gundogan or Foden to go and exploit. But that's about Grealish's discipline now.
Grealish received 15 long passes that first half. Only Dominic Calvert-Lewin has received more at 16 this season. We are using him. We know Matty Cash is coming close, he's coming tight, and Grealish is exploiting it. Yeah,
well, they've obviously looked at the way that Villa sets up, and they are narrowing that midfield. And you know, it's going to give that opportunity to get that early switch on. As long as you can keep one of the 10s, keep attracting Cash, keep tucking him in alongside the centre half, then we'll be able to get the switch on. And then I think you've got to be really aggressive on that first one. Your intent has to be to go. We'll slow it down and come back in and allow them to get back into shape, because you know, there might be 3 or 4 chances in the second half where we get a one-on-one where you can go on the inside and the outside. We've got to be really aggressive with that movement. But I saw enough in that half to think with a little bit more intensity, a little bit quicker in play, that we can, you know, I still believe we can go on and win this game. I think if we get the next goal, you know, before 70, I think we win the game.
Keith, you spoke about Haaland needing chances, wanting chances. He hasn't even had a touch in the opposition box this half. He's been starved, but let's talk our big moments, our chances. The Foden one on the 35th minute combined well. Do you think he should have done better?
No, he's done everything right. It's trapped under his body. You know, if he could have moved it, you know, taken a touch with his left foot away from the goal, then that might have opened it up a little bit more. He could have got more purchase on it. But you know, it's a save you'd expect Martinez to make. But it was a great little passage of play between him and Rico, little 1-2s, and you know, we haven't seen enough of that. But it was a great bit of play.
And the other chance right before half-time had us hands in head moment. Heads in hands? Yeah, we'll do that. And the header late on, what do we think?
He got too much on it, didn't he? Yeah. But that's the type of movement that he followed his run, got the ball out wide, followed his run into the box, and again, Grealish, end product. Getting him the ball is one thing, but so he's either going to be creating crosses, or he's going to be trying to set some people up. What you can't afford to do is it fizzle out. And there's nothing wrong with sometimes just putting the ball in the box, because what you find out, if you get in the final third and you keep putting balls in the box, that encourages midfield players to get into the box because they know the ball's coming in. At the minute, you're thinking like, well, is he going to cross it? Is he not going to cross it? And you get too many people waiting and they don't get that half a yard. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with getting the ball wide, have a touch, put the ball in, and then your midfield players will make runs into the box, and then that will then occupy other defenders, and the next thing, then you're creating space, and for Haaland, ball bounces down, one touch, finish, goal.
Let's talk Villa's goal. Morgan Rogers involved, ex-City boy. Duran scored. Counter-attack, we were set very far forward. Is it a case of we need to drop and be expecting that? Because, like we said before,
I thought it was excellent from Villa. I've got to give them great credit, you know. But again, you know, Keith spoke about, you know, if there's no pressure on the ball, then don't make it a race. And, you know, that's not just as a defender, that's also as a midfielder. You know, when Tielemans has received the ball and he's turned, once he's got his head up Kovacic has got to make sure that he's goal side, or he's got to make sure that Rico's actually given the information to press the ball and he's in a good position. Because once he's gone into no man's land and the Rodgers has come round the back of him and run, it was just so effortless. You know, there was no great play. It was just a simple movement that exploited space. And once he got goal side, there was no recovery. And you know, they did everything right from there. The weight of the pass. Yeah, every single part of the play was, and then he's played the ball into the ground, which has bounced over Ortega. But it shouldn't be that easy. You know, you're either pressing with real detail and intensity with everybody behind, triggered, ready to go, or you give it up and you drop back into a mid-block or even deeper, which then causes the opposition different problems. And it was a really poor goal to concede.
Yeah, I think so. You could tell they were set up, or City was set up for a press, and then as soon as John Stones has been taken out of the back four, and as soon as his lad has got turned, then there's got to be a warning and a trigger sign then for the Rico loses, especially there, defend your inside shoulder, because like he's man to man, his man's out there. As soon as the centre back goes in there and his man turns, then as a defender you've got to defend your inside shoulder. Why? Because it's the closest route to goal. So you come inside there. The worst case, then if they play the ball out, then you go and defend your outside shoulder, and by that time then you shuffle back. Midfield players have come back in. But if you stay there marking that and you haven't defended your inside shoulder, there's a gap between you and the other centre back. As a footballer, I see it quite simply. As a defender, you think like, well, I need to defend my goal. That's the pivotal point. Where's the straight lines for your goal? Defend on that line.
City are making a change. John Stones for Kyle Walker. What's Pep saying to him in the dressing room right now, do you reckon?
To the players?
Yeah.
In general, I think a little bit quicker in play. I think as Keith has just said, we need to get more bodies into the box. Just to catch the eye of a defender. If you've got two centre-halves against Haaland and you haven't got somebody coming across your eye line to actually attract you, then you're always going to be able to suffocate the one striker. But once somebody moves one of the centre-halves, then Haaland can either pull off the back shoulder and get across. So I'd imagine up the pace a little bit, be patient, and there's got to be a desire to get back behind the ball whenever we lose it. You can't lose that side of it, because if it goes to 2-0, it's going to be very, very difficult. But there's been enough there. I think De Bruyne and Doku will play a huge part getting towards 70 if it stays as it is, because I think there's a threat there. And I still got a good feeling about the game. I still believe we can get something from this. I believe we can go on and win it.
I mean, the boys are there in the tunnel. Do you think it's a straight swap for Kyle Walker? Is he going to come in at centre-back? With the players that are available, I'd say yeah.
Playing more as a three. I think Akanji go there, Walker will go onto the right-hand side, so you play Guardiola, Akanji and Walker.
What do we need? What do you want to see in the second half?
Goals.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Goal attempts.
Yeah. Listen, it's too simple for us to say goals, but opportunities, putting balls into the box, make it a little bit more predictable for Haaland so he can make a run. Because there was a great passage of play where the ball came back to Guardiola, who crossed it into the box. There was no movement from anyone because he doesn't know when it's coming in. If De Bruyne is on the pitch, then he knows the ball's been moved. On the next phase, when De Bruyne takes his first touch, we all move because we know it's coming in with quality. And just that little advantage over a defender can be the difference. I expect him to play a part and get on the pitch, De Bruyne.
Perfect. Right, guys, thank you very much. The second half is coming up. Here is Alison Mann with the commentary.
Thank you. Welcome back to Villa Park. Pep Guardiola's made a half-time change. John Stones has come off and Kyle Walker's coming on. We can only imagine that that's because Stones is still feeling his way back to full fitness. Let's hope it's nothing more than that. Walker is not physically on the field yet, he's just waiting for the signal, but he's stripped and readied, and he's already taken the captain's armband off Bernardo Silva. Just one bit of housekeeping. Right at the end of that first half, there was a bit of push and shove involving Emi Martinez and Jack Grealish, and Martinez was booked. He was booked by the referee for officially adopting an aggressive attitude. So Martinez has been booked, and of course earlier in the piece Matty Cash was booked as well. Well, the truth is that City have had to come from behind quite a lot this season, and they've done it quite a few times. Indeed, in their most recent away game they came from 1-0 down and 2-1 down to draw 2-2. They also came from behind, of course, to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers in October. They had to come from behind to beat Fulham as well. And they've even come from behind, of course, against Arsenal in the Premier League game at the Etihad Stadium. Brentford took the lead against the Blues, and so too did Ipswich Town. So it's happened a lot this season, so we don't need to get too despondent. City dominated the first half possession, and through Foden and then Guardiola very nearly equalised. City have started the second half as they ended the first in possession of the ball in Villa territory. Walker helps it on to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva on towards Foden, cleared by Pau Torres up towards the City fans to the right-hand side in the main stand at Villa Park. Walker takes the throw, on it goes to Akanji. City trailing here at Villa Park by 1-0. Haaland on to Kovacic. Lewis tried to find Haaland. Maybe he should have had a go himself, and now Villa are on the counter-attack. And that's a foul by Lewis, and he'll probably get booked. He will. A foul on Tielemans. So Rico Lewis goes into the book. He's been a player who's had a lot of minutes this season for City, Rico Lewis. And of course he was sent off in the last match he played away at Crystal Palace for 2 bookable offences. So Rico Lewis has incurred the wrath of referees this season. That's his 4th yellow card of the season, adding to 1 red, as Rodgers has the ball on the edge of the City area, and he prods it into Luca Dean, but Bernardo Silva is there for City, and he gets the ball out for a Villa throw. Michael, obviously a change with Kyle Walker for John Stones, on the assumption that was just a fitness issue. What differences would you imagine Pep might have made ahead of the second half?
Well, I think what you look at there is obviously John Stones having to come off, which is a concern. I mean, whether he would have played 90 minutes, that would have been something to look at. But now with that change, we had Rico Lewis joining the midfield very, very quickly. And obviously even Akanji to drift towards that right-hand side. Walker's not going to do that as natural. Rico Lewis slotting over to that left-back position. So as this sort of second half started, we haven't seen any of that because we haven't had good control of possession. I'm sure we will try and get an extra one in there, that's for certain. But we've just got to be a little bit tighter for that counter.
As Tielemans plays it through and Camara helps it on, and now McGinn scampering forward. Villa to the edge of the City penalty area, still in possession Villa. Cash hits it into the side netting. Jon Duran took a tumble on this near side, and it's a goal kick to City. It could have been a whole lot worse, Michael Brown.
Yeah, again, space in the middle, people with awareness, sliding passes. And when McGinn gets in, he's looking to get inside on that left foot. He just sort of reverses it into Cash. Grealish couldn't really get back. I think Rico Lewis maybe over-covered centrally slightly. He's just finding his feet when you go across the pitch, and that strike hits the near post. But again, they look dangerous, don't they, when they get going?
They do indeed. City with all this possession, but Villa, when they have the ball, do look extremely dangerous indeed. Kanji brings it forward for City. City trailing here by 1-0. A draw would take them back into the top 4. A defeat, and they would stay outside the top 4, and indeed they'd drop a place because Villa would leapfrog them. The ball is in the possession of Akanji. Akanji on the edge of the centre circle, goes into the centre circle, ambles forward, plays it across to, I'm not sure who was playing it to. It's picked up by Foden. Walker now has it, and he spreads it out towards Grealish, headed away by Cash. Onto McGinn and back to Cash, and inside to Camara and on to Tielemans. Villa building nicely, get to the halfway line, but they then come backwards again. Konsa back to Martinez, who was booked right on the half-time, in fact beyond the half-time whistle. Bukadin coming forward, checks and comes back, plays it inside for Rodgers. Rodgers back to Onana, and further back it goes to Pau Torres. And now Konsa, still inside their own defensive third. He slips it through well, and the ball in the middle, and Duran's onside. Duran comes forward. Duran goes up. The flag goes up. So VAR will check it because it looked offside, but the linesman kept his flag down. Just looking at the replay, yeah, he has. It's gone, hasn't he, Michael? That should be offside.
It should be. He was running to advanced position, just looking down at the assistant referee. They decided to leave it. It was a good finish. He always felt like it wasn't going to count, and rightly so, and off we go. But it's got to make sure that line's right if you're going to run that risk, and on this occasion, City defence got that spot on.
Yep. Didn't take VAR long to check that one, a matter of maybe 10 seconds. So it stays at 1-0, but another scare for the Blues. Grealish plays it inside to Akanji. Akanji helps it on to Foden. Foden out wide to Bernardo Silva up against Lucadine. Comes inside, plays it to Foden. Now then, Foden hits it wide. Well, this time last season, that would have flown into the back of the net. He scored 27 goals last season, 19 of them in the Premier League. So far this season, he scored 3, but none in the Premier League. And he's now hit 27 shots and not scored. Strange old time for Phil Foden, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, you just get into a rhythm. You try to snatch, try to give it a little bit more before you just think, oh, I'll just take this on. And ultimately, the finish wasn't good enough, but he got into the position, he opened his body up. That's something we like and know that he can do. He creates that space that other players can't, and just keep doing it. It will come. That's the message.
7th minute of the second half. Aston Villa 1, City 0. Jon Duran with the goal, and then he put a second one into the back of the City net, but from an offside position. City absolutely have to score the game's second goal to come back from 2-0 down. Well, that seems a step too far. Rodgers plays it back to the edge of the penalty area to Pau Torres, who guides it back to Martinez. Martinez under pressure from Foden, plays it to Konsa. Konsa clips the ball over the top. City give chase, and it will be guided back to Ortega by Joško Gvardiol. On it goes to Lewis on the edge of the City penalty area. Lewis comes forward. No pressure on him, so he plays it to Akanji. Akanji getting towards the halfway line. Dummying to pass it. Plays it in field to Lewis again. Lewis in the centre circle, onto Akanji. Akanji plays it into Foden. Foden clipped, and a free kick to the Blues. A foul by Onana, which is his 3rd of the match, but he's not going to get carded on this occasion. Foden felt that. Oh dear.
Yeah, no wonder.
Good grief.
No wonder when you see it.
I don't think he meant to, but
stamps right
absolutely,
on to the outside of Phil Foden's left foot. It could be really uncomfortable. And he's got a limp on, that'll be sore for a few days. But adrenaline normally, you can run them off, you can feel it and get going.
That's a couple of fouls on Rico Lewis. It's a free kick to City. Tielemans and Kamara tried to foul him. And Lewis is saying, well, I got booked for doing less than that in the first half. The referee's not brandishing a card. Free kick to City midway inside the Villa half. Aston Villa 1, City 0. A goal in the 16th minute by Jon Duran. Free kick taken by Kovacic. Gets it back from Lewis. On it goes to Foden. Foden in the inside right position. Changes it to the opposite side to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash, who's on a yellow card. Grealish on to Gundogan. Gundogan can't get to it, goal kick.
Very strong. Konsa comes across, uses his body. Jack Grealish, good diagonal pass initially, and he's looking for space, flicks it into the penalty area. Thought Ilkay Gundogan could get hold of it, but Konsa very strong, just eased it out. Something to build on again, but I thought the momentum of the free kick, I thought there was 1v1s in wider areas if we played it quicker, Ali, but we just waited, delayed, let them get set, and I think we want to create more chances. Yes, it's more risk. We might need to say, let's get the ball down, spot it and go.
Yep, City have lost the ball in midfield, and Villa have it with Rodgers, and Rodgers plays it into the channel, and Duran chases and Akanji tackles him. Really good tackle it was, although both players have ended up in a heap on the floor. Well, it was a really strong challenge by Akanji, and I think they both landed on each other afterwards. And Akanji's holding his shoulder, and Duran is holding his right ankle. But it was a really good tackle by Akanji, really strong tackle.
It's a big challenge, and Duran goes right onto the top of that right shoulder, so we might have a little bit of a sort of a dislocation type moment at the top. That's how it looks, because his arm was sort of stretched out as it was laid across the ground, but then Duran sort of flipped over the top of it and pushed it right on the joint. So that's where it's really uncomfortable. It was a big tackle from Akanji, very committed. It was a good one. This is the last thing we need now.
Yeah, just looking back at the replay of the goal that separates the two sides, Rodgers to Duran. Duran hit it into the floor and it just bounced beyond Ortega. And City were a goal down after 16.
You mentioned there, you said Duran, Ali.
I did indeed. You're absolutely right.
I thought you were just a bit of humour, you know, trying to soften it while we've got a break in play.
Yeah, indeed.
He's up.
He is up.
That's a good sign.
Akanji's up. So Akanji back
He's
on
strong,
his feet.
He'll get on with it.
So it's an uncontested drop ball. City will get it because they were in possession. Akanji still getting a little bit of treatment on this near side as Walker plays it back. City want to bring Akanji back on again. And the referee, Peter Banks, signals that he can. So, oh no, he hasn't signalled that he can. So City is still down to 10. Now he's been given permission. And on he comes. Haaland nudges it. Oh, it's not a good header. Villa pick it up through McGinn. In fact, Akanji's still not on the pitch. I don't understand what's happening here. I thought Peter Banks gave him the signal, but maybe he didn't. So City down to 10 for the moment. The ball is in Aston Villa possession.
Pep's going furious. Pep's going crazy.
Oh, now
he's come back on.
Yeah,
finally he's on. Yeah.
It was a late one from the referee. Villa's got the ball in central midfield with Cameron. Back it goes to Conser. On to Pau Torres. Pau Torres to Rodgers. Rodgers wants the return, and it goes out of play for a City throw. So Aston Villa 1, City 0. We're in the 58th minute here at Villa Park. A goal from Jon Duran in the 16th minute. City with a couple of chances to equalise. A header from Guardiola over the top of the bar, and a shot from Foden tipped round the post by Emi Martinez. City have a throw midway inside the Villa half. Sorry, the City half, I should say. Walker throws it all the way back to Ortega. Ortega under pressure from Duran, who made the tackle, but it breaks for Guardiola. And does it stay in? No, it doesn't. It's gone out for a Villa throw, level with the edge of the penalty area. Ortega under pressure from Jon Duran, and he played it out wide, but City couldn't keep it in play. So it's an Aston Villa throw, which they've taken midway inside the City half. Backwards to the halfway line to Conser. Haaland's barely had a look in so far in this game. That has to change. Rodgers loses the ball, and then Jon Duran gets it back again. And he turns away on Duran, and he brings in Mukadeen. Mukadeen down the left side. Plays it backwards to Onana. Onana looking towards Dean, and on it goes to Rodgers. Rodgers tries to get a 1-2 going. Suddenly it breaks for him, and he's hit the outside of the post. It was a fortuitous 1-2 because it wasn't intended the way it actually went, but it broke for Rodgers, and he clips the outside of the post.
Yeah, good move, overloads, little play inside, and then Rodgers looks to play it. It's a bit of fortune off the back sort of little flick from Duran, but then follows it up and hits it early. Strong strike, near post, just to the outside of it. Again, just City can't clear the ball. It was a half-hearted challenge from Josko Gvardiol. He's got to be stronger. He's got to make sure those chances don't come.
60th minute, City still in this game. They could have gone 2 behind, but the offside flag stopped Duran as he put the ball in. And they could have gone 2 behind there, but the outside of the post clipped by Morgan Rodgers. City in the left wing position, but all the way back in his own half is Lewis. And now Akanji bounces over his foot. Akanji looks fine after he was landed on by Duran. Akanji in the centre circle. Lewis still in the centre circle. On it goes to Guardiola. Wider to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash. Comes inside of it. Still with Grealish. On it goes to Lewis. Lewis on to Kovacic. Kovacic to Foden. Foden to Kovacic. Kovacic in central midfield. On it goes to Guardiola. Guardiola back to Lewis. 30 minutes to go at Villa Park. City trail 1-0. Akanji. And now Walker. Walker. And Foden and Walker, and City back inside their own half with Akanji. Akanji playing it long, looking towards Gundogan, headed away though. Camera will clear it. Up to Tielemans. Tielemans turns away from Foden, facing his own goal. Tielemans plays a nice ball out to Lucadine. Lucadine comes forward down the left side. Haaland comes back at it, and it goes to Onana. Onana plays it forward. Still in Villa possession on the halfway line. Camara, Giroud, Camara. Back it goes to Konsa. Konsa to Onana. Onana on to Pau Torres. Pau Torres comes forward into the City half. Back it goes to Onana. On towards Rodgers, but picked up by Akanji. Walker. Akanji in the right back position. Can't get the better of Rodgers and then gives it away to Lucadine. Lucadine's ball over the top, headed away by Akanji. Picked up by Onana. Infield it goes, and it's Camara. Camara gets away from a challenge, and it goes through to Ortega. Fine dividing lines at the moment, Michael.
And Camara, great feat, by the way. Last couple of actions been really good, comfortable. Going with confidence, but we've got to stop that. We've got to now be aware that he's going to have a little trick. He's trying to play a pass forward into the penalty area. City's turn now to start rotating the ball, moving with patience, but in the wider areas there, they're just stepping forward, just keep giving sort of loose balls away.
Yeah, and Onana's onto this one. Plays it inside to Tielemans. Tielemans plays it in field, and Villa with Camara, and on it goes to Cash, getting towards the City final third. Cash plays it back to Camara, and Giroud wants it, but it goes the other way to Onana. Back to the halfway line with Konsa. Konsa to Onana, and the ball goes back into the Villa half again. Villa in possession though. Helped on to Pau Torres. Probably hear the City fans chanting Blue Moon. And just as they do so, City win the ball back. Kovacic now darts forward. Wide it goes to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash. Grealish, can he clip in a ball? No, he can't. Goal kicked. Miss-hit cross into the side netting. An apology from Jack Grealish. He was looking promising, but he couldn't wrap his foot around it enough.
I think he's got to commit a little bit more. Do you know once he does it, Ali? He does really well. He watches the flight of the ball, then drives. He knows he's got Cash, and then he's unsure whether he should fizz the ball, whether he should dink the ball back, and then that little bit of a delay. He doesn't catch it right, and just clips it wide, and doesn't even make it past the goal. I just think crack that across the face. Let's see what happens.
Well, at the moment, Rodgers is coming forward for Villa. It's a good run from him. And he brings in McGinn, and City are now backpedaling. Villa on the edge of the City penalty area. McGinn working an angle. Rodgers working an angle. 2-0 Villa. Morgan Rodgers makes it 2. And City have now got an enormous hole to try and dig themselves out of. Morgan Rodgers set up the first. He scores the second. And the Blues are staring down the barrel of yet another Premier League defeat. It's Aston Villa 2, City 0.
We'll just have a little look at this. Maybe VAR might have to come into play. Let's hope so. And that would be a big let-off if that was the case. But again, counter-attack very, very quickly. John McGinn involved, and then Rodgers just pulls it onto his left foot. And then a little strike right across the goalkeeper. Really, really impressive finish.
Well, looking back at the replay, trying to see if there is a possible offside. I'm not sure there is. And I think the goal will stand. Yeah, it will stand. And Rodgers has made it 2-0. And with 25 minutes to go, City are trailing by 2-0. And this miserable run of results is just going to get a little bit worse, it would seem. 9 defeats in 12 is the real depressing possibility here, unless City can find 2 goals. Aston Villa 2, City 0. Morgan Rogers with the second.
Really good finish. It's a brilliant finish, Ali, wasn't it? You know, the overloads are there, people getting around people, but you've got to be better at the source when it starts travelling through the centre of the pitch. More ruthless is the word, I would say. Just letting them too much space, too much time to do what they want on it.
That's become an all too familiar pattern, unfortunately. City on top, in control, but Villa always looking dangerous on the counter. And Rodgers drove forward and then finished. Greenish down the left wing position. Tries to find Haaland, it goes beyond him, and Lucas Digne clears it. And on it goes to John Duran. John Duran now turning and coming forward for Villa. City's fragile confidence is so apparent. The incredible control they had of the game, but Villa going at them and causing problems. And now a free kick to Aston Villa for a foul by Akanji.
He's trying to do everything, isn't he now? Rodgers, he drifts and glides through the middle. There's a little bit of a sort of a touch from Akanji's right arm, but I'm not sure there's enough to give a foul.
No, neither do I, but it is a free kick to Aston Villa. And City, I'm afraid, are in another deep hole. 23 minutes to go. Aston Villa 2, City 0. John Duran with the first, Morgan Rogers with the second. Villa have also had a goal disallowed. Rodgers hit the post. City have had a couple of chances of their own, but not really in this second half. And the Blues, I'm afraid, are in another very depressing position. Villa come forward, and it's a good tackle by Foden on the edge of the area. A throw to Villa, level with the edge of the City penalty area. City sitting fifth.
Ready to come.
Yeah. Savinho's coming on for the Blues. Savinho stripped and ready, getting his final instructions. Cash will take the throw for Villa. Headed up into the air, cleared by Akanji. Rodgers tackled by Bernardo Silva. And it goes out for a Villa throw, just on this near side, which will allow City to make their change. Second substitution of the match. The first one saw Stones off and Walker on. That was at half-time. The second one will see Savinho come on, and it will be Gundogan who's coming off. But actually, they've delayed that substitution just for the moment. So Savinho will come on and Gundogan will come off, but not just yet. The ball is with Villa. Down the right side they go. McGinn plays it in field. Onana. Now it's with Pau Torres, and now with Rodgers. And Rodgers back to Onana. And back to Pau Torres again. Torres helps it backwards to Konsa. Konsa to McGinn. To Camara. Camara to Tielemans. Tielemans to McGinn. McGinn pops it into Rodgers again. Rodgers. Bernardo Silva's back at him. And it breaks for Ortega. 21 minutes to go. Rodgers probably a candidate for man of the match today against the team where he was part of the City Academy but never made it to the first team. City have got it in midfield with Kovacic. On it goes to Walker. City with 20 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Trailing by 2-0. Kovacic in central midfield. Kovacic comes back inside. Helps it into Guardiola. Guardiola plays it outside and brings in Grealish. Grealish to Foden. Foden to Kovacic. Kovacic tried to play it to Gundogan. Couldn't find him. Gundogan wins it back. Foden then loses it. Thumped away by Onana. Picked up by Akanji. Can City pull it back to 2-1, and then who knows what might happen? Lewis in central midfield. Backwards further to Akanji. Akanji out wide to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash. Grealish tries to find Gundogan. Bounces back to him. Plays it to Guardiola. On to Grealish again. 20 minutes to go. Grealish. And now Lewis. Lewis now to Kovacic. Kovacic into the possession of Walker. Walker goes back inside to Akanji, midway inside the Villa half. Gundogan, Foden. Foden on the edge, hits the shot, and Martinez with a routine save.
A little 1-2's patient, passing good. Really the tempo is still not high for all the attractiveness of the moving the ball around, getting to good positions, and then ultimately as Phil Foden tries to get a shot away, really quite tame. He's to try and get it on his left if he can, try and generate some power, but it's almost the team have gone into a bit of shock, and rightly so when you find yourself in this position. But we've got to find reaction, we've got to find something. This team have got the ability to still come back in this game. You start feeling sorry for yourself, but someone has got to drive, someone's got to do something, bring your team back into the game.
Foden tries to find Haaland. Foden gets it back on the edge of the area. He's tackled. Akanji on Giroud. Free kick to Villa. Akanji can't believe that decision's gone against him. The City players can't believe the decision's gone against him. So on comes Savinho and off comes Ilkay Gundogan. So Savinho, a very different player to Gundogan, of course. I wonder if it mean that Grealish might go inside, or will it mean Bernardo will go inside? But either way,
Bernardo.
Yeah, it'll be Bernardo. So Savinho will attack down the right. Bernardo Silva will go inside, and Gundogan comes off. He was playing in an advanced kind of number 10 position almost, Gundogan. So Haaland
That's
and
a better goal
Foden.
from Ali. Do you know, like, I think that's fine. I think he can go and get into the areas, but just hasn't found any spaces because we just must have been too nervous of the counter, and rightly so, because every time they've come forward, they have punished him.
17.5 minutes to go. Aston Villa 2, City 0. The Blues heading for yet another defeat. Just can't quite get your head round it at the moment. Just never faced this kind of problem before, Pep Guardiola, ever in his career. 9 defeats in 12 unless City can find 2 goals in the last 17 minutes. Just an astonishing run of results. And in periods of every game in these last 12 matches, City have been in control and were looking quite good and comfortable, but Villa have punished them as so many other teams have previously. They're in the left-back position with Pau Torres, Aston Villa. Played forward straight to Guardiola. Guardiola to Kovacic. Kovacic inside to Foden. Foden on to Walker. Walker back to Foden. Foden. If City can pull it back to 2-1, it might just change the narrative a little bit. Here's Akanji. Akanji comes forward. Right down the middle, on to Foden. Foden tries the shot, Martinez makes the save. Another attempt on target from Phil Foden, but again, a fairly comfortable gather for Emi Martinez.
I think he made it look comfortable out. It was a great strike, good handling. He's very confident, isn't he, the goalkeeper? Again, counter-attack coming.
Kanji's got there in front of Giroud. He's in the right-back position, plays it to Walker. Walker goes back to Ortega. Ortega in front of the Holt end. Plays it into the edge of the area to Bernardo Silva. Lewis back to Ortega. Ortega spreading it to Akanji. Akanji on the edge of the Villa penalty area. Foden. Foden on the halfway line. Comes inside Foden. Opens up in front of him. Plays it into Kovacic. Kovacic darting forward. And it goes to Lewis. Lewis out wide to Grealish. Grealish up against Cash. Plays it inside to Kovacic, sitting on the edge of the penalty area. Foden goes back to Lewis. Lewis onto Grealish. Grealish, can he get beyond Cash? He does, plays it in, and it deflects. Foden tries to get to it, but can't. Onana clears, and it'll be picked off by Guardiola. Guardiola in front of McGinn. And it's given away straight to Cash. Cash back to McGinn. 15 minutes to go at Villa Park. Aston Villa 2, City 0. Ball on the edge of the Villa penalty area with Pau Torres. Backwards it goes to Emi Martinez. Martinez to Pau Torres again. Pau Torres to Lucadine. Lucadine to Onana. Onana back to Lucadine. Tackled by Savinho. Savinho tussling with Lucadine. Breaks for Onana. Oh, now City is stretched again. Tielemans in central midfield. Plays it to Rodgers. Rodgers to Camara. Camara to Onana. And Villa with game management. And they can afford to do that, leading by 2-0. Camara. Onana. City win it back. Foden. Haaland. Haaland comes forward. He's on his own, Haaland. Keeps on coming, Haaland. And in the end, he loses it. And Emi Martinez is there. Had to go alone then, Haaland. Had no choice, did he?
Yeah, but he's in that position. I don't think that's anything unnatural. You find yourself in an area you're already travelling 3 or 4 rounds, you can't really check back. Just got to hope it falls, hope he can charge through, hope something just breaks. But again, he's been limited, that we can say that he's been given an opportunity. You see somebody such a threat. I think that's the disappointing thing. We haven't seen him get those opportunities, and you know he will score if he gets one.
He just hasn't had one so far. 13 minutes to go. City needing to have 2 chances at least, or they're going to fall to defeat again. Just unbelievable form they're in right now, City. And yet there have been periods in every game where they've just looked a little bit like themselves, and then the opposition seemed to score just at that moment. So over 12 minutes remain, and City's season of woe looks as though it's continuing. Emi Martinez on the edge of his area. Plays it into Rodgers. Rodgers again looking dangerous. On it goes to Camara. Camara into Tielemans. Tielemans outside to Cash. Cash delivers. Headed away for a corner by Walker.
Good in possession, aren't they? Using their body. I think we're actually need to be a little bit stronger when the balls are coming into players. They're just shrugging us off, then turning. They get the freedom to go and run into spaces. And that deep cross, Walker just sees it out. There's competition in behind him, but now this set piece, you cannot concede from this. You've got to make sure you don't give them something for free. There's still time to come back in the game.
It's going to be Tielemans that'll whip this corner in. Villa are preparing to bring on Watkins for Duran, but not before this corner's taken. Tielemans drives it in. City get it away through Gvardiol. Cash retrieves possession for Villa. Back to Camara. Camara plays it out wide, looking towards McGinn, goes out for a throw. City throw, and now Watkins will come on for Duran.
Substitution for Aston Villa, Leicester, Duran.
Huge applause for Jon Duran, hardly surprising. He is the Villa top scorer, 12 goals in all competitions, 7 of them in the Premier League. His 7th today in the 16th minute, built the platform before Rodgers made it 2 in the 65th minute. There are just over 10 minutes to go, and City's run of form is on the verge of looking even worse. A recent Premier League run, just extraordinary, really. Heading for a 6th defeat in their last 8 matches. Just incredible numbers. They led the Premier League table when they beat Southampton on the 26th of October. But defeats at Bournemouth, Brighton, at home to Spurs, away at Liverpool, at home to United, and seemingly here against Villa have seen them slip down the Premier League table. Villa will go above them tonight if this stays as a Villa victory, and the Blues will be at best 6th come the end of play this evening.
Is that another strange foul? Is that a soft decision? Kanji certainly thinks so. He's not happy about that. He's had a couple go against him. No wonder he's getting a bit irate. Whatever happens, got to have an improvement in this last 10 minutes or so of the game. Jeremy Doku, he can do that.
Yeah, Doku's going to come on in a minute.
Questions like are going to be asked, Ali, is it's been a tame second half performance. That's what I would say.
Yeah. City fans doing what they can, singing Blue Moon in the corner. There's a generation of City fans who've certainly seen these kind of situations before. Those of a certain age will remember City in relegation battles and playing football in the 3rd tier. City at the moment are in 6th in the Premier League table as Watkins comes forward. Watkins hits it and Ortega saves it, and Akanji guides it back. Well, City opened up and Watkins hit it left-footed, but Ortega was in a good position. In a moment, Doku's going to come on for Kovacic, but what went wrong there, Michael Brown?
I think the break was quick. Again, Kyle Walker tries to commit. Rodgers is on fire, isn't he, in the second half, let's be honest. Flying past people. Slides into Watkins and tries to get his shot away. He's got a lot of time to do that, but he hits it right. And a well-positioned Ortega. Pep's thinking, surely too much space again, all around. Phil Foden's just probing now, trying to find a way, but Villa are on such a high now, in top games have realised how to see them out. Champions League is obviously the one that's took note, but it can still be done. These players, however bad the run is, top players, you always believe in them.
Well, there are 7 minutes to go today. Challenged by Guardiola, and a yellow card for Guardiola for the challenge on McGinn. So Guardiola gets booked, and it's a free kick to Villa just inside the City half. Just looking at it again. He got the ball and then he got the man on the follow through, but Peter Banks gives him a yellow card.
I think John McGinn does really well. You know, the tackle comes in, he gets caught and he knows it's a sore one, but he gets up, he realises that he has been caught, and I think that's the correct decision. Yes, he does get the ball, but when you do catch your opponent's ankle like that, sort of lower ankle into the foot, then the referee's obviously got to act, and probably think that's correct. He's just gone a little bit too physical though, Josko Guardiola, but again, City in possession, got to be better. And I keep saying it, I'm hoping more than anything now in this second half, normally have a little bit more than this, that a chance comes very soon.
Well, there's 6 minutes to go. Pep Guardiola's brought on Doku, and he's brought on Savinho to try and change things. But Villa have looked very much in control. They've got the ball on the edge of their own area with Camara. Thumped away up towards Rodgers. Walker's header. Guardiola back to Walker. Can City just find a goal to at least make Villa think? The ball's with Walker. He guides it all the way back to Ortega. Ortega helps it on to Guardiola. Guardiola pushes it out wide. Doku, first chance for him to have a go down the left side. Brings in Grealish, who's gone inside since the arrival of Doku. Doku has down injured because he was caught. Free kick to City. Wide on the left-hand side. 5 minutes to go. Aston Villa 2, City 0. Grealish hovering over the free kick. Foden hovering over the free kick now because Grealish has left it to him. City.
He did catch him, didn't he? He's really struggling on his knee. I think they want to play quick, thinking I can get you in there next to McGinn, but Doku doesn't really want it. This line now looks level for Villa, right on the edge of the penalty spot. But someone's got to find a way through it.
Foden delivers, away by Martinez. McGinn controls it, bumped away by Cash. City will have to retrieve it from their own half. Ortega's there for City. Plays it to Bernardo Silva. 4 minutes to go. Aston Villa 2, City 0. Akanji. Now Bernardo Silva in the centre circle. Bernardo Silva comes forward. Turns inside. Finds Lewis. Oh no, he doesn't. It wasn't a good ball. McGinn. Tackled by Bernardo Silva. McGinn emerges with it. And he keeps on going. Oh, and Grealish is going to get yellow carded here for a foul on McGinn. So it's all going very badly wrong here. Frustration.
Very late. I know it's a player he knows well. He's come and caught him as McGinn's just rolling it in and out of a challenge, but we haven't got time for that. I did want that a little bit earlier, you know, a bit more fight, a bit more aggression in the side. I think earlier on in the start of the second half stopped things happening to us. Maybe welcomed, as if to say you're not just going to come and take it off us that easy, but I think in the second half I think it has been a little bit of that. This Villa side have had too much control, never mind just a counter-attack goal, which sometimes happens against City.
And City have won it back with Grealish, and there's a challenge on Grealish and it goes out for a corner. So it's a City corner, wide on the left-hand side. There are 2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. And if City are going to mount an improbable comeback, this has to go in. Grealish plays it short to Doku. Doku. Can he find a cross? Gets to the byline, plays it in low, and it will be cleared by Luca Dean. Picked up by McGinn. McGinn into Cash. Cash taking on Walker, stops, comes back, and wins a throw.
Well, they do well, Villa there. Cash and John McGinn, you know they've got experience in the Premier League, and they're very wise when they need to click the clock, and it's a good little counter. He steps back and just ricochets it off for the City players, and just take the time and wait, and delay. The Villa fans increase the noise and atmosphere, but this is hard, isn't it, watching the City fans and people wondering why is this happening so many times, and as players all they can do is get their heads down, keep going, keep training hard, and hopefully it turns.
Well, there's a minute plus 4 added before City are beaten again. The ball is with Savinho. Savinho scampering forward. Still inside the City half, Savinho. Rides a couple of challenges. Plays it to Bernardo Silva. 90th minute here at Villa Park. City trailing 2-0. Bernardo Silva goes out wide to Doku. Doku goes back to Lewis. Doku again. Trying to get down beyond Cash. Plays it inside to Grealish. Grealish into the gap and finds Bernardo Silva. Haaland tried to get to it. Not had a single chance today. Savinho in the right wing position goes out for a City throw. 4 additional minutes is going to go up on the 4th official's board, but not just yet, because Rodgers is coming off for Villa. And he's probably going to be named man of the match, I would imagine. Buendia's coming on for Rodgers.
There's every chance. I think it was a real strong performance from him. He was strong, he wanted to make things happen, and he asked me, Dizzy, about when you come up against your former clubs, what it's like. Well, there's your answer. You know, sometimes you find a performance that is deep within, and that was a really good one from him.
So Rodgers goes off to a hero's ovation. On comes Buendia. We're into the first of 4 added minutes. Aston Villa 2, City 0. Akanji plays it in field to Bernardo Silva. On it goes to Grealish. Grealish midway inside the Villa half. On to Doku. Doku up against Cash. Comes inside Doku. Hasn't got beyond Cash. Holds on to the ball though. Back it goes to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to Doku. Doku down the left side. Gets beyond Kamara. Kamara's back at him again. Still with Doku though. Doku goes back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to Walker and then Foden. Foden trying to work a gap. Can't find one. Savinho wide on the right side in the right wing position. Savinho comes inside, plays it to Walker. Walker to Akanji. Akanji back to Walker, but City can't find a way past Villa. Savinho, Lewis to Foden, and it'll be picked up by Emi Martinez. In fact, he leaves it, and it goes out for a goal kick. It's just not happening.
You can hear the delight, can't you? They've got a taste for it. They've had some big results, haven't they? You know, this manager under this regime with a strong team, they've been inconsistent. Aston Villa in the Premier League, obviously good in the Champions League, but this is a big scalp for them. You could hear the excitement all around, but from a City point of view, we just haven't done enough. We had the possession, but counter-attacks, they were slick, and we just haven't found enough momentum to create as much as we normally would, and opportunities around. I mean, Martinez's goal of not being at the highest level.
City have got the ball, but not for long. Then it breaks for Walker. Walker plays it to Savinho. Savinho comes forward. So he's not really got anywhere to go. He plays it inside to Foden, and Foden's shot breaks for him, and at last he scores. Phil Foden tucks it into the back of the net with 90 seconds to go. Phil Foden at last has his first Premier League goal of the season. Maybe there's just enough time for an equaliser, who knows? But that was just the bounce of the ball that came City's way. That hasn't happened too often. Luka trod on it, and it broke for Foden, and Foden gets his first Premier League goal of the season, and it's 2-1.
Well, when he gets into those spaces, I just said keep going, it will come at some point. Determination, and at times you get a little bit of luck. It did fall for Phil Foden, great finish, and this will be a sensational end if there's one more chance. We're really running out of time, that's for certain, but we're not with a pass like that.
No, given away by Ortega. McGinn to Onana. He loses out to Walker. City have about a minute left to try and find an equaliser now. Lewis turns away from McGinn. Keeps on going, Lewis, and McGinn fouls him and should get booked. Surely that's a bookable offence. It is. McGinn really knew what he was doing.
Why doesn't the referee let it roll on, Ali? Doku's on a 1v1. And now he pulls it back. Wow. Poor refereeing for me.
Well, there's going to be one opportunity left for City to salvage a point here. They've got a free kick midway inside the Villa half. Foden's going to swing it in. Villa with a very high line. Foden clips it in. Martinez gathers it. And I'm afraid that will be that. Referee looks at his watch. The ball is in the hands of Emi Martinez. Martinez looks up, and when the ball is in the air, Peter Banks will undoubtedly blow his whistle. And there it is. Extraordinary statistics. City lose again. It is now 6 defeats in the last 8 Premier League matches. Just 4 out of a possible 24 points. and City's season of woe continues. They had control of the game for large periods of it. A couple of chances. One was headed over the bar by Guardiola, one saved by Emi Martinez. But when Jon Duran gave Villa the lead in the 16th minute, it came at a time when they were in the ascendancy. The Blues dug in, kept on going, and until the 65th minute, maybe had a chance. But Morgan Rogers tucked it into the back of the City net. And although Phil Foden pulled one back deep in added time, it proved to be little more than very scant consolation. And the Blues have lost again. The final score, Aston Villa 2, City 1. Well, City's season of woe continues. 9 defeats in the last 12 games in all competitions. The guys in the studio, Keith Curl and Andy Morrison, I'm sure will have plenty to say.
A tough result, 2-1 Villa.